We've won the last 4 races at Mercedes, but that winning run is likely to come to an end today because we need to take some engine penalties, which will mean grid drops. But the weather in Spa might just come to our aid. Hello folks, welcome back to AHGP, welcome back to F1 Manager, where I'm managing Mercedes, and we are gearing up for the Belgian Grand Prix Spa-Francorchamps, and it's got some beautiful weather in store for us. So I'm going to need my coat, not only Friday, but Saturday and Sunday. So yeah, this could be quite the weekend in terms of wet weather, basically. But before we even go to Spa, we've got to put some parts on the car. For George Russell, he's missing some side pods. Not the first time Mercedes have been missing side pods, but we have insufficient parts to replace on his car. So we need to go to the warehouse, and well, he's got failed side pods, and he's going to go all the way back to the first specification. This is actually really painful because although we could emergency manufacture a set, maybe. Let's have a quick look at that. We are manufacturing some side pods, but they're not going to be ready for another 3 days. And there's a temporary shutdown because of a sponsor obligation. Fantastic. Okay, so it's the first specification of side pods for George Russell. Oh dear. So he's going to lose a whole load of performance from the side pods. Lewis Hamilton is not needing any new parts, but his items, as you can see, are wearing out. We are, as you saw as well, developing manufacturing bits to go onto the car. We're designing front and rear wing, which haven't arrived in time for Spa because I think we have to have a design centre shutdown at some point, which I didn't show you because it doesn't really impact anything. The car is fine as it is. We've just got to sort of top it up essentially and start taking it on a little bit more. We've also got the board check-in performance review after the race weekend. But honestly, if we have a look at the board confidence, it's high. They're disappointed with last year's season objective, but look at all the delighteds there. That is just beautiful. It's just everything you want to see. Barcelona, they were satisfied, and everything else has been happy or delighted. We're preparing for practice 3, and Hamilton's had a bit of a snafu in practice 2 to the point where he's destroyed the car again, which is wonderful. Damage to his engine, his ERS and his gearbox. Good thing he's taking the engine penalties, but these are going to cost him a shot at the World Championship. We haven't got another chassis. That was also in manufacture. He'd have to go back to the first spec chassis unless we emergency manufacture a part. Have we got enough front wings? We have. Rear wings. Yes. Suspension. We've had a new suspension parts. They're ready, I suppose. I've probably forgotten to put them on. We're about to throw some upgrades at this thing. I've totally forgotten we had those. Okay. We're still missing a chassis. What do we do here? I think we emergency manufacture one because we need to. Hamilton gets a new chassis even though he smashed that one up. I mean, it was raining. It's the sort of thing that can happen when it's wet. Alright, practice 3 went without a hitch because I simulated it, and a thing I didn't anticipate was not being able to take all brand new elements because we had the third engine hadn't been used yet, so it wouldn't let me take a new car part because there's one or more currently unused. So as soon as we start using this, I'm sure we can take a penalty. But we have taken new ERS components for both cars. Fresh gearbox in for Hamilton. Look at the state of his gearbox allocation. He'll need at least another 2, I'd say, to get through the rest of the season. Yeah, so at the moment I don't know when the rain's coming, if it's coming at all for practice or for qualifying. So we're going to head into Q1. I'm going to do a few laps to get the confidence up. So you can see it's high and very high. Strangely very high for Hamilton, even though he's crashed. All right, we've waded through the rain and got ourselves to Q3. We had a bit of a scare in Q1 where we were the first pair of cars out and everybody was going quicker because the rain was arriving soon and they all had a slipstream and the track was obviously rubbering in. Hamilton scraped through in 14th, 1.4 seconds off the pace. Much more like it in Q2 though, only 0.3 to Max Verstappen, who also has a grid penalty along with us. So Leclerc and Perez will be eyeing the top spot on race day. But let's get to qualifying for the Belgian Grand Prix. We've had rain not long after the start of each session, so let's see what awaits us here. It's more of the same, so it's get your lap in early. I've been doing 2 laps to try and get the benefit of the extra rubber on track, so I think I'm just going to wait here and let someone else take the lead so we get some slipstream. It's going to be a one and done sort of thing because everybody's going out. That rain is coming. We're probably even going to catch it at the end of the lap. So the order they cross the line in might be the order they start the race in. Well, penalties aside. So we can watch Hamilton and we'll see Russell in the background. Laps beginning 2 minutes until the rain. It's a long lap at Spa though. Russell getting the slipstream from his teammate. Hopefully Hamilton getting a slipstream from Ocon up ahead. Purple sector for Hamilton, beaten though by Russell. Let's keep an eye on... Well, Verstappen hasn't gone faster. Russell, the fastest man in the first sector. Through Pouon for Hamilton. Russell tracking him all the way. Middle sector's coming up then. Sainz sets the initial pace, but Hamilton is quicker, and he's quicker than his teammate. A 41.2 versus a 41.6. Russell losing a heap of time in the middle sector. Verstappen quicker than anybody in sector 2. Sainz sets the benchmark. Ocon beats him. Hamilton goes faster. Russell goes second. What about Verstappen? As the rain has actually started here, has Verstappen done enough? He has! He snatches the pole position. What about Charles Leclerc? He's usually pretty dangerous over a single lap. Leclerc goes 8th. The rain too heavy for the Ferrari driver in the end. The gap to pole position just over 1/10 of a second. And the rain is coming down, so I'm going to put the hood up and, because it's clearly raining. So that's qualifying. Track now damp. The cars will head back to the garage. The AI has gone out on inters. I don't know what the point of that is. Just wasting a set of inters. So we'll line up... Well, we won't line up second and third. Ocon will actually be on pole. Alpine are going to be on pole position, courtesy of all these penalties for Verstappen, Hamilton and Russell. So there's your pole man. Esteban Ocon gets... has he been on pole in real life? I don't think he has. Anyway, he'll be on the front row. Alongside him will be Sergio Perez. I think Logan Sargent's going to start 4th. I just saw him there. Yes, Sargent's going to start 4th maybe. I don't know how big these grid penalties will be, but they'll drop... Well, maybe Sargent starts 5th. We'll see when we get to the grid. But yeah, that was qualifying, and we've just missed out on another pole position. Alright, so it's a 10-place grid drop for both Hamilton and Russell, although 10th and 11th doesn't add up to a 10-place grid drop. So I don't know quite how that works. I assume Verstappen is maybe behind us on the grid, and maybe there's someone else with a grid penalty. So let's see when this rain is coming, and it looks like it's going to come late on in the race. I wonder, would two sets of softs get us there? I mean, we could do a double soft and try and push. Obviously conserve them when we're in free air. But starting in the mid-pack, we need to make progress. Oh, okay. So, and then we'll just add in maybe wets. All right, strategy set. Fuel into the car. Driving options are ready to go. Esteban Ocon will start this race from pole position. I think Lewis Hamilton's got 2 sets of fresh tyres, fresh softs to go to. George is going to have to go to a used set because obviously he's got those fresh ones that weren't used in practice because it rained. So yeah, let's do a motor race and see Esteban Ocon on pole position. Yeah, your eyes are not deceiving you. It's an Alpine in pole position. 5 red lights. The lights are out, the race is on. Let's see what Lewis Hamilton can do from 10th and what George Russell can do from 11th. I'm going to ask them not to fight. And we need high overtake aggression from the get-go here. Let's jump on board with Hamilton and see if we can get through some of this traffic early doors. We're going to send it on Gasly. And with the magic inside line of F1 Manager, I think we're going to make this one stick. Is Gasly still there? No, he is behind us. And that's a good start for us. And we'll get Russell driving in clean air as well. Hamilton's actually got up to 8th because he's passing the Haas. Hamilton is on a rampage. There's Max Verstappen, who... Did he start 4th or did he start 3rd? But he's got Carlos Sainz ahead of him. Now Alonso is the man ahead of Lewis Hamilton. We need Russell. Hamilton has just dive bombed everybody into the bus stop. What? He's just taken 2 positions. Hamilton is a man possessed right now. I hope we get... Here we go. We didn't get the overtake on Alonso. He's just got the one on Leclerc, but he's taken 2 positions there to close out that lap and is now looking at Logan Sargent. Hamilton needs to make progress to even put himself in the championship battle. He's going down the inside of Logan Sargent. These soft tyres are working absolutely beautifully. DRS now enabled. We're going to deploy with Hamilton and attack. We're avoiding the high-risk curbs. We'll accept dirty air. Let's get Russell. He's in need of cooling the tyres. We'll get him deploying as well. See if we can get him forward some positions. But Hamilton is now directly behind Verstappen, as in the order on track. And hopefully he'll be able to catch the Red Bull driver, because Verstappen is currently stuck behind Sainz. Russell is still stuck in 11th. That's because Magnussen has got DRS chasing Gasly, which makes it really difficult to overtake. So we're just going to wait, even though we've got the best DRS effectiveness. I'm just going to sort of sit tight with Russell and we'll build his race a little bit further on. Hopefully we get some gap opening up here. If we can distract Magnussen enough to drop out of DRS range to Gasly, that would be very useful, and that has just happened. So now Russell can really go for it, and Magnussen will be under pressure. We'll get Russell driving in clean air now, and whoa, through Eau Rouge. Stop it. Hamilton has just taken 4th position, but this is something you don't see all the time. I'm just going to pop the camera off. George Russell, his championship battle hinged on this moment, and he's gone past the Haas through Eau Rouge. Now he can go and get Gasly. Hamilton is now right behind a Mr. M. Verstappen on the track. And I haven't checked what everyone's tyres are. So Perez is doing the well, he must be doing a soft strategy like us. Albon and Stroll also on the softs. Everybody else on mediums. So, I mean, Hamilton is now sizing up Verstappen and going past the Dutchman for third place. Verstappen will have DRS here, so we will lose this position for now. But we're going to be right in the lead fight here as Russell passes Gasly around the outside. He's still been deploying. He'll get the move sorted through Puon, and that's job done for George Russell. Hamilton into the lane, and he's followed by Ocon. Decent stop here, please, boys. Yes, and Ocon had to wait for us to come through. Perez will be behind us. We've managed to get ahead of Perez here. Maybe he lost time with traffic. We're now 18 seconds behind Verstappen on fresh tyres. Russell comes back out in 11th, which is essentially where he started. But now everybody else is on older tyres, and we can go for it. Let's drive in clean air, please, George, and get past your mate Lando. Hamilton's got some clear air to really attack into, and then he'll meet the two Ferraris. Russell, can we get him past Norris into the chicane? Not just yet. Maybe down the pitch straight. The old switchback, and there's 10th position for Russell. Okay, now it's about closing down the Ferraris and the gap to Verstappen. So the gap to the Dutchman is 13.5 seconds for Lewis. And we have now arrived on the Ferraris. And Hamilton going down the inside there. We're going to deploy to try and make sure we secure the position, and then hopefully we can pick up DRS the next time around off the Ferrari of Leclerc, who really needs to hook up to the back of Sainz and get some DRS for himself. Otherwise he's going to be a sitting duck. He looks like he's just got inside that 1 second window. But it might not matter because we've got such better tyres. Russell now just 1.8 behind Alonso, and then he'll close up on Gasly. Right, Leclerc does have DRS, and Ocon almost crunching into the back of Hamilton's Mercedes. That would not have been appreciated. And Sainz is under a huge amount of pressure here. Probably need to get Hamilton to drive in clean air next time around. So let's get to that point. Verstappen 10.3 in the lead. If we can get past these Ferraris, then we have a great chance of closing that gap before the rain arrives. Let's drive in clean air. Try and find a way through as Leclerc takes second from Sainz. Can we get through into Eau Rouge? Not quite. DRS open, and we're going to go down the outside. No, because the second Ferrari has DRS, it's very tough to overtake. Although Leclerc is, he's not hanging around for his teammates, so this could be a very good opportunity for Hamilton. In fact, he's going to go around the outside of Blanchimont. Can he make it stick into the bus stop? You bet he can. Let's deploy. We've got DRS, and might even be able to snatch it from Leclerc for the Kemmel Straight. I wonder if we did. Find out now. We did get DRS, and now we can chase Leclerc, who's 7.5 behind Verstappen, who's just babysitting those tyres as best he can to get to the rain. Leclerc is in a worse position than Verstappen, but is faster. Don't do it here. I would say don't do it here, but okay. Lewis Hamilton knows better than I do. Off he goes. The rain is now just a few minutes out. We've had the wet weather predicted message, which means, well, you can even see in the top right, it's just a few minutes out. Yellow flag. Who went off? Stroll with a spin. Russell has closed down the gap to Alonso. Hamilton is absolutely flying. He was 2 seconds quicker than Verstappen last time around. We need to get Russell moving as well. He's driving in clean air, which is harming his lap times. Let's see if we can get him past the Aston Martin and the Alpine. Let's deploy. We'll get him driving in clean air now. So, yeah, he's just going to muscle his way through past Alonso. Good stuff there from George Russell. And he'll get the DRS off the back of Gasly. And is he close enough to the Alpine? Not quite. We'll stop deploying. We'll get him to just drive the correct line. Hamilton still reeling in Verstappen. Russell going past Gasly just as the rain arrives. Both our drivers are at peak confidence. So the gap is 3 seconds to Verstappen. I'm wondering if we get Lewis in now for a set of inters. Well, maybe that's a bit too early. What's Verstappen going to do? He stays out. But next time around it will absolutely be time for a set of inters. George Russell is a little bit further back in the lap, so I'm going to bring him in on this lap because that rain is falling, and he'll now be at the point for inters. What is Leclerc on to? A set of inters. We might even hold up Verstappen through the pit lane. Let's see here. In comes Hamilton. Don't speed into the pit lane. He doesn't. Has Verstappen stayed out? He has. He really should have pitted. Ocon has stayed out as well. He's actually got the fastest lap of the race. The Ferrari of Sainz is staying out. Are we going to fall to fourth? Not quite. No, Sainz is still back there. So we might as well deploy with the battery. What's Stroll going on to? Are they going straight to wets? They are. But it's not ready for wets yet. We saw in Silverstone, if you go to wets too early, you ruin them. And Hamilton is just taking chunks out of those guys ahead of him. He's now caught Ocon. We might as well conserve with the fuel. Drive in clean air. They're completely on the wrong tyres. Verstappen surely pits. He does. And what's he going to? Wets. Hamilton now takes the lead. Russell starting to really put on a charge as well. Have we just won this race with a super strategy call? What's the time loss under green flags? Pre-race reports, time considerations, 16 seconds. So if we can get ourselves 16 seconds clear of Verstappen, we can return in the lead. But we're going to have better tyres anyway because they're using their wets right now while it's fit for inters. Right, we are approaching the point where wets will be faster. But I think we're just going to wait one more lap. So he's into the pit lane, is Lewis Hamilton. Let's deploy battery with Russell, who's popped out in 7th position. Need a good stop. Leclerc follows us in. No need to be held. Now where is Verstappen? He's crossing the line now. Hamilton, oh, this is going to be so close. This is going to be so very close. They're going to be wheel to wheel. I hate that phrase that Crofty uses, but they really were. The tyres are stone cold. They're 32 degrees, which if that was a summer's day, very nice. Maybe a bit too hot. But Hamilton was about 1 second short on his gap. So in fact we were driving in clean air, which probably was harming our pace. But we'll get these tyres up to temperature, and then we've got almost 10% better tyres. But look at the weather. I mean, I'm going to need to put my coat on. So I'll do that, and then I'll come back to you. Alright, the time it's taken me to get my coat on, Hamilton has dropped to 2.3 seconds behind Verstappen, who I would assume is pushing at the moment. He did a 1 minute 50 that time around. Russell did a 51.2, so Verstappen's got some pace on those wets. I don't really want to push too hard on them. Let's push with the fuel. Tyres are now up to temperature. So now that they're at their working temperature, they should start to come to life for us. We do need to keep an eye out for this potential late switch back to intermediates. Alright, Hamilton has dropped to, well, he's still 2 seconds behind. There are 5 laps to go at the end of this one, but we have reached the point where the level of water on track is dropping. So is it a switch to inters, or is it stay out on your wets? We need to maybe harvest some energy with Hamilton, because he's dropping back. There just won't be enough time to make the switch from wets to inters work. So we might as well attack and use the tyres. Try and close down the Red Bull. We're close, but we won't get DRS. There is now damp conditions. Don't think we're going to be close enough. We need to be massively faster this time around. Last lap we were only 0.2 quicker. Russell still only P7. So it hasn't quite worked out. Although, wow, we are now rapidly closing in on Verstappen. Less than a second. Suddenly Hamilton has got the message. You can win this race. Let's drive in clean air. We might be able to snatch the win on the last lap here in Belgium. Surely not. Is he on high? He's on. Let's go high aggressive overtakes.
Okay, let's go for it.
Hamilton, as we start the final lap, is looking for a way through. Harvest the battery. Now deploy it. And they're weaving all over the place to keep each other behind. Tyres are boiling. No DRS, I don't think. Oh, Hamilton, maybe. Maybe. Is he going to send it into Lecom? No! That was very close. We're still pushing on the fuel.
Keep these tyres in good nick.
They're getting very hot, the tyres. We might as well just push on them. Stay and deploy.
Let's get after it.
Can we find a way through? Is it going to be into the bus stop that we make the move? This is it. This is where the race is going to be won or lost. Can we find a way through? Verstappen doing everything he can to keep us behind. It's got to be a big dive bomb into the final chicane. The bus stop. Hamilton! No! Oh, don't mind that. Glitching through wheels. But he's not quite made it. Max Verstappen wins the Belgian Grand Prix. Hamilton takes P2. Russell is chasing down Perez and Sainz. Ocon is going to get himself a podium here. So well done to him. But Hamilton's so close to a hat-trick of victories. Verstappen returns to the top step and extends his championship lead over Russell. It didn't quite come together for George Russell, unfortunately. Not in the same way as it did for Lewis Hamilton. But still a decent result for Lewis nonetheless. Gets him into the title fight. So for the second year in a row, we miss out on victory in Spa on the last lap. It did come down to the final corner with George Russell and Charles Leclerc last year. This year, it's Hamilton and Verstappen. Verstappen did start fourth. He rose 3 places. Yeah, a decent result, all things considered. Excuse me. We started 10th and 11th with grid penalties. So to come away with a P2 for the team is good. Verstappen now leads Russell by 30 points in the Drivers' Championship. It's swinging one way and the other at the moment. Russell needs another couple of wins, I would say. But Hamilton, 54 points behind Verstappen. He's the man in form right now. And if he can win a couple of races himself, and Verstappen has another couple of off days, he's right in the mix too. Constructors-wise, we lose 7 points to Red Bull there. So it is a 37-point lead they have on us. But it's very close. It could all be defined in a couple of races. There's Verstappen's record, 7 wins, 2 sprint wins. That's what's really hurting us at the moment, is the sprint wins. We haven't won a sprint yet. I believe there's only one more coming up. But still, it's very much game on in the championship. That was a good save, I would suppose, from starting in the mid-pack. All right, mid-season board review time. Our target is second. Current position is second, so we're on target. We've got 1 season remaining to win the Constructors' Championship. I think we can win the Constructors' Championship. So board confidence is high. They're giving me an extra $1.5 million. That's very kind of them. So if you enjoyed that episode, that wild race in Belgium, make sure you give the video a nice big thumbs up. Subscribe to join me on the trip to Zandvoort for the Dutch Grand Prix in the next episode. I'll see you next time. You're the best fans. It's goodbye for now.